We survived Calgary, everyone. We're back. I tell you what, I was pretty freaking tired yesterday. How are you guys? The day
Still
after.
tired.
Yeah.
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 It was
a whirlwind.
It was a whirlwind, yeah. Arriving on, we arrived Thursday, didn't we? Thursday.
Yeah.
And then it was non-stop right through the match. It was non-stop. And it was brilliant. There were some vibes, Wonga, weren't there? Throughout that weekend. That was if you love Canadian soccer, that was the place to be.
A celebration of Canadian football / soccer. Just an amazing weekend by the CPL. The events were so fun and entertainment, and it was like they were come on, Dubs, like that's not the word.
You were so fun and entertainment.
Entertaining. But great performances on and off the field, and food and booze, and they really did it up. I mean, that was one of our problems. It was hard to say no, right?
You almost made it, Wonger. You almost made it to the end.
I left early on Saturday night, and I was happy I did.
Exit stage left, Wonger.
All you fuckers Irish goodbye'd me. I looked up and I was like, where did everyone go? You assholes.
Oh, yeah. I stood at the door. Like, I was like, yep, I'm out of here now. Done. I saw the warning signs. It's time to get out of there. And sorry, Dubs. I looked around, but I didn't see you.
I bet you didn't look around. I think you just did a Houdini.
I just did a Houdini, yeah.
Yeah.
I just got out. Yeah.
See, I actually told JC and Craig that I was leaving. So it wasn't really an Irish goodbye, if that's whatever type of goodbye it was. I'm only telling 2 people, and I'm walking home and grabbing a sub on the way.
It was a Northern Irish goodbye.
Did you grab a sub?
I did. I grabbed a meatball sub. No wonder I had to sleep sitting at a 90-degree angle.
Yo, that's
God.
All night.
Oh, yeah.
And then you blame the booze for your acid reflux, but meanwhile you're having a meatball sub before you go to sleep.
Dubs, 2 things can be true at the same time.
That's true.
Taking a 12-incher late at night.
No
wonder
That's how I roll.
Congratulations, Boris.
I have to say for the audience's sake, so we had this.
I'll make you gag.
It was the after. It was the after party on the Saturday after the match at this bar by the hotel, and everyone's there. As far as the media and the Canada soccer side of things, the teams are doing their own thing elsewhere as they should. But it must be about midnight, and I look over, and it's a packed bar. I look over and I see Wonga with a mic in his hand, and I'm like, "Oh fuck, is Stevie Chang in the house? What's Wonga gonna say? Oh no!" My heart skipped a little beat, but Steve Chang wasn't in the house. It was Dan Wong, and Dan Wong crushed it. Basically inspiring everyone to kind of say, listen, we're here for a reason to grow the sport. Everyone here is a reason why it's growing. And then JC take over. Hype man JC takes over and just organizes everyone to get to one side of the bar. Like no one had a choice. Even those that may have been a little bit reticent.
There were a few.
No names mentioned. They made the move over there. And and we got this group picture. And I think it was on social media.
The catalyst was JC. I just was a bridge to the microphone. He's like, how are we going to get this? And I went and talked to the bartender, and she goes, we have a microphone. And I said, things are looking good. And I said, JC, I'm going to introduce you to hype it up. And JC did a wonderful job, and all his idea.
It was great. I think all of us were nervous when we saw you with the microphone. We all looked at each other and we're going, get that mic out of his hand ASAP.
Calling people out.
His intentions are good. His intentions are good. Yeah. JC was like, do you think we can get everybody together for a photo? I said, I don't know, but I know you could.
Oh, yeah.
We.
Yeah.
It was good.
Great. It was great. It worked perfectly. Good. Yeah, I think people enjoyed that. Yeah, it was a great weekend and so many great moments, right? I mean, from the awards night right through to your supporters night, missing some of our amazing how you cross the country and we're now discovering there's listeners around the country, right? And it just blows my mind, this stupid podcast of ours. And like Doug Simonite comes out for the supporters night. Simon night. Sorry, yes, Doug. Yeah, you made sure that Wonga knows that he gets the name right every time. Doug Simon night comes out from Saskatchewan for the supporters night. Sticks around for the match.
So cool.
Great to hang out with him. We met so many people, like Natalie Houghton at the game as well, and her daughter as well. Like just brilliant.
Yeah,
and so positive. And I think the highlight for me, aside from Wonga losing his phone, was well, I think for all of us was probably Tommy and his wife Veronica. Post-match on the Saturday, we're doing our hit. You saw this, it's on social media. We're doing our hit, and Dubs is like breaking down the game like brilliantly, eloquently as always. And then Jimmy like starts pointing to the distance, the darkness, and like, what? Who is that? And it's Tommy Weldon Jr. and his wife Veronica having a moment, a special, an emotional moment after what's been a really emotional year for them personally. And of course, we ruined it for them. Like, come on over here, get over here, and they did, and it was just fantastic. So check our socials for that if you haven't seen it. But that was, I think that may be the moment, Jimmy, for me that kind of encapsulated the weekend.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it was a lot of fun. I think there was a lot of emotion through everybody as well, especially being Canadian, loving this sport and seeing how everybody was involved, you know, over those 3 days, from the awards, the fan fest, all the events that were going on, and to see a great crowd. And what I really loved watching the match was it was an educated crowd. You know, when the game was going on, they knew when to cheer at the right moments, and I thought the atmosphere was electric. And you know, the best team won. It was great to see Tommy hold the trophy and celebrate a great year. A great season for Calgary.
Yeah, I was texting with Tommy in the morning yesterday, and I was just saying thanks for coming over and joining us, and sorry about interrupting what turned out to be quite a private moment. And Veronica was quite emotional about the whole thing, and he said no. He said it was perfect. It was raw. It was what the game's all about. It's what the whole evening and day and week was all about. So he thought it was absolutely perfect, and I thought the timing of it was great. So he was okay with it.
And maybe most importantly, we all got on really well for the entire 4 days, didn't we?
First
most
time.
Most of us did anyway. You know, Jimmy and Dubs have their moments, you know, as they always do. Be it in a podcast or at midnight at a bar. You know, it's going to happen at some point. But generally speaking, they made up. It's generally speaking, we got on really well, didn't we? No incidents per se.
No, I'm going to talk about my favorite moment, and obviously that was a very poignant moment with Tommy. But I have to say, trying to round up Craig Forrest while we're all trying to do things. Hey, Craig. But it's because, and I have to be honest, it was so nice to see Craig being recognized everywhere he went, signing autographs, people coming up to him, talking. It was amazing for me, and to just see, I'm going to get emotional, but it was just so great to see our boy Craig being like the crowd loving him. And that was really important. I don't know what it was like. Craig, what was it like? Was it, because honestly, dude, we were like, hey, we have to be up on the stage in 3 minutes. Craig, where's Craig? And you were like there. How was it for you? You're here.
Well, most of the time I was trying to explain to people, because they're always saying, they were talking about Dan Wong, and you got to keep him. Can you keep him on the straight and narrow? That's what it was about. That's why I was always late to things.
I think it's part of the reason why Forrest is 6'5" is so we can spot him easily in the crowd. Yeah. And I think it's also what makes Footy Prime recognizable, right? It's like, as people are after Forrest, and then there's some people who are just the Craig Forrest fans, and then there's some people who are the Footy Prime fans, and for the Footy Prime people who are trying to find us and take selfies with us and connect with us and just kind of hang and be part of the buzz of the game day. It was like Forrest is their gateway to Footy Prime, right? And then there's also a faction of fans who just give a shit about Forrest, and that's okay because he's fucking Craig Forrest, right? But I mean, the weekend's about Forrest being celebrated as kind of somebody on the periphery, but an important player in Canadian soccer, like Jimmy as well. But like Tommy and his wife, Veronica, being so gracious that we pissed all over their wonderful moment, but like inviting us into it and being a part of ours. Like I was just really pleased for Calgary, pleased for those fans. Such a great grounds and a great atmosphere and energy about that stadium and about Spruce Meadows, and my first time experiencing it. But it was a chance for Tommy, as somebody who's a really big player himself and growing the game here in Canada, to get elevated like that and have the stage and get to be celebrated. And I told him, I mean, Sharms was right next to me, and I just took a second, not only to congratulate him, but just to be like, I'm full of admiration for you as an empathetic, caring human being, but then also like being that first and foremost, and then being an important coach and somebody that people look to kind of drive this game forward, I think is so important.
And that's winning or losing. Tommy's no different, and he's a class act. And I have to also say that about Bobby Spurniotis, because I thought he was absolute class after the game as well. Congratulating Calgary, obviously disappointed, but he knows how difficult it is to win trophies, and better than most. And obviously he wants to continue doing that. But overall, I think it's good for the league, for the growth of the game, for somebody else to win it. I think all that was good. And I think the home team winning it on the day was probably a perfect ending to the weekend.
For sure. JC actually got me a shortcut out of the back of the hotel to get to the bar that night after the match on Saturday to try and beat you guys. And
it wasn't a shortcut.
It was. We'll get to who won the race in a second. But he took me, let's go this way, open the door, start walking through, and it's all Forge having their post-game dinner. And heads are down. And we're like, hey guys, heads down, shit. But Bobby was there. And he got up and had a little chat with him, and he wasn't just he wasn't in fine spirits. Obviously, he's disappointed, but so professional, just a good guy, understands it's part of the game. You know, Crisis won 4 of these things, right? So they'll be back, with or without Bobby, right? Who you think at this point? I mean, this could be the off season, right? That he finally gets the offer that he can't refuse. I mean, if he doesn't get an offer from an MLS team, I don't know what the fuck MLS is looking at this point. But yeah, that was quite amusing. And then of course, we saw you guys walking down the street towards a bar, me and JC at the intersection. I thought, no, we're going to win that one. We're going to beat that race, win that race. And no, I raced a Hall of Famer called Amy Walsh.
No, you didn't.
Smoked her.
You tried.
Forrest and I went out the other way, the usual way that we'd walked every morning to go get a coffee. And we're like, what are they talking about? Shortcut out the back of the building. Like, they're full of shit. And we saw you guys waiting to cross the street. And then I'm incapable of losing me. Yes.
Yeah.
So I
have to say, though, watching you run was elegant. Watching Sharms hobble, it was not. I was like, he's going to hurt himself.
It looked like he left his hamstrings in his room.
Yeah. I'm actually amazed that I didn't hurt myself.
He left his ass in the room.
Last time I sprinted that hard, that was back home actually in Canada, in Pickering. No, I honestly thought, I mean, last time I sprinted that hard was when I raced my daughter and blew my hamstring out, tore my hamstring. This is the first time, and I thought that, so I got through that run without hurting myself, so that's the main thing. But yeah, sorry, going back to, I think you're right. The home team winning after Hamilton's dominance of the league was probably good for the league. I know Forge fans don't want to hear that. But you're right, Dub. Spruce Meadows, I mean, my first time there as well. I mean, my God, what a great venue. If you could just plunk and clone a Spruce Meadows anywhere in CPL markets in Canada, you'd be onto a winner, wouldn't you? It's brilliant.
Yes. I mean, I'd already talked about it. So.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Thought someone else might jump in.
I think we also got to give a shout out to Ian Allison as well. He did a tremendous job. He's been working so hard behind the scenes, and I think we got to give him some credit as well for helping put that event on, because it was amazing.
And whoever the event planner was, God, I don't know who. Gem Events, I think it was
Gem Events. I think it may be.
They are spectacular. If you're looking for any, look up Gem Events. I'm not sure what their website is, but look it up. It's quite the. They really know how to put on a shindig.
It felt big, right? It felt big.
It
did. Big event. Which, to be big, you got to feel big. And the CPL, I think, it understands that. And
sold out. Sold out stadium.
Do that. Yeah, it sold out over 7,000 fans, right? Yeah.
Lou Calla, Jazz Fest. Yeah. Sorry, Fan Fest.
Yeah.
Jazz Fest.
Footy Prime, warming up the crowd before
we warmed up the crowd.
Lou Calla came on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were lukewarm.
We were lukewarm, yes.
He plays left wing for the Canadians, doesn't he?
That's right. Dual national.
And Jimmy, I didn't see the broadcast, but I'm assuming you were brilliant as well in the pre and the post on stage.
Thank you.
We missed you a little bit here and there because you had to do real work, but I'm sure you were brilliant. How was it your end?
It was really good. Really good. I thought the show was great. I actually watched it again in the match, and I thought the production was fantastic. Just to set up, everything looked great, especially where we were sitting because behind us was the grandstand, the main stand, and it was packed. And then the celebrations after, it was awesome. It was really good to cover. I enjoyed it. Had a lot of fun.
But you were cold, you poor baby, weren't you? Eh?
I was frozen. Frozen.
You had your little hot pockets.
I did. I actually put them in my ass pockets to keep my ass warm.
Ass pockets.
Robots in disguise. Something.
Robots.
No, I was doing the hot pockets.
Yeah.
No?
What are you talking about?
I don't know that one.
No, it must be something incubator.
I think I gave him the forest. I pulled them out of my pockets, gave him the forest, and he was like, "Oh, these are warm." It was a bit damp, but warm. I was like,
a strange odor to them for some reason. But, it kept you warm anyway.
Yes.
So,
can I ask one more question? At awards night, Amy Walsh grabbed, I forget, was it a pierogi or a
empanada?
A vegan empanada.
A vegan empanada, and put it in James Sharman's jacket pocket, and he didn't know. And so I said, "Hey guys, take a picture." So it was Amy and JC having fun pointing at this thing, and Sharm's not knowing. So we'll share that picture because
how we laughed
at James Sharman.
Why is it whenever we go to events with you guys, we always end up by the speaker and have to yell the entire time? I've blown my voice out totally the last 3 days. It's just gone. And it's because wherever I hang out with you idiots, you decide, let's stand here right by a fucking speaker every single time. And now I'm just done.
Well, the other insight you grabbed from this was that you gleaned was, when we go out to these things, we don't see each other very often. So it's like we're on vacation.
It totally is.
It's true.
And so we have our little vacation, and then we realize we have to work, and we work our asses off, and then we go back on vacation. I'll meet you at 7 by the pool, swim up pool. Like we're always doing stupid shit. So it's pretty fun.
It's a lot of laughter, that's for sure.
We know how to work a room, though. I commented on that the 6 of us together can really work a room. We're magnetic.
We are, aren't we? Yes.
I made this comment a few times. It seemed that whenever we were at an event or at one of these events, people were just drawn to us. We're pretty cool.
And we like to laugh.
With or without the empanada pocket square.
Very good.
So yeah, check out our social feeds. We were sticking stuff down all weekend, a lot of stuff. So hope you enjoyed that, and our thanks to the CPL for putting on a really, really good show. And I look forward to next season. And it should be a fascinating off season with certain players, maybe making the move to bigger and better things. Dan Klump being one, I think, could be moving on from Calgary after winning Defender of the Year, brilliant season. And now getting that championship, so good for him. And who knows about Bobby and Tommy and what happens there. But it should be a fascinating league to watch.